You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Our top story tonight, the Sarasota County School District missing a major red flag when hiring a teacher that is now behind bars for possessing child pornography. Quentin Peterson had been accused of touching students in Manatee County 3 separate times before he was hired in Sarasota. Sarasota County School District missing that red flag given to them by the Department of Education. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us now to explain how school officials say this active investigation went unnoticed by Sarasota County schools.
Sarasota County school officials say that Peterson passed all of his background checks when they hired him, or so they thought. Looking back now, school officials are saying they didn't look quite hard enough, and now they're looking to change their policies and procedures because of it. Allegations against Quentin Peterson date back to 2015. He was accused of having inappropriate contact with students 3 times since then. Palmetto police ruling 2 claims as unsubstantiated. The 3rd claim is what put him behind bars. He's charged, but not yet convicted, of possessing child pornography.
For a teacher to be under investigation in a neighboring county, that's certainly something that should be picked up clearly in a background check.
While police were investigating that possible sexual relationship between Peterson and a student, they found several naked pictures of underage girls. One picture, police say, was of a teen that Peterson was having that sexual relationship with.
It's upsetting. In speaking with my daughter after this news came out, she gave me some anecdotes about student experiences with this teacher that were upsetting.
This letter shows that Manatee schools reported Peterson to the Florida Department of Education. Sarasota School District admitting that they missed a red flag when checking on Peterson's background with the Department of Education. According to Superintendent Dr. Todd Bowden, there was a complaint about Peterson on a new DOE website that they didn't know about. Bowden admits they should have dug deeper. Then there's an issue surrounding a glowing recommendation. Peterson's former boss, Principal Ed Hundley, filled out this form for Sarasota schools. When asked, do you know of any reason why this person should not work with students, Hundley checked no. When he was asked, was this person ever disciplined, he also checked no.
His former principal, Mr. Hundley, indicated that he knew no reason why this individual should not work around children and that he would rehire him if he had the opportunity. Things that we have learned that had he been more forthcoming, we would not have hired this individual.
But according to these police reports, Hundley was present for 2 of the investigations into Peterson. The reports detailing that Hundley called an abuse hotline to report allegations against Peterson. We reached out to Hundley, but he would not comment on the issue. Superintendent Dr. Bowden says he plans to take Hundley's actions in front of a review board.
And we'll be filing a complaint with professional practices and ask that they look into it.
Superintendent Bowden tells me that the district is in the middle of changing its policies and procedures when it comes to hiring because of this incident. Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Jess, thank you for that update. With more paraprofessionals leaving a Sarasota County school, teachers and staff are working to raise money to bring on board more help for its students with special needs. Parents at Oak Park School say their biggest concern is the difference in pay per hour for these teachers. With a total of 26 open positions currently, the school has seen an increase in staff who are moving to other schools that can pay as much as $3 more per hour.
They love the school, but they don't get paid enough in order to stay here. It's not a living wage. Our paraprofessionals are underpaid compared to other paraprofessionals in the district.
Parents say it's important to stop the revolving door because it is better for their child's education and also gives them peace of mind. The Venice Police Department is opening up an office at Venice High School. It's being called a first-of-its-kind partnership in our area. The office will be staffed 24/7 as officers use the school as a substation. This, combined with the 2 officers already assigned to the school as resource officers, means the campus will have a near-constant police presence.
To me, it just made sense that we would partner with them and have a continual presence on our campus at all times.
The department plans to have the office opened full-time by the start of next school year. Well, a wastewater treatment plant that caused many problems for people on Siesta Key is now offline. It's a plant that has a group known as Environment Florida named the second worst in the state for pollution into waterways. It has now transitioned to the new treatment facility. ABC7's Rick Adams has reaction tonight from some neighbors.
Well, this is the wastewater treatment facility that has been causing quite a stink. There's some good news for folks who live around here. This plant is now officially shut down. It's the news that Lori Romano and so many other Siesta Key residents have been waiting for. The wastewater treatment facility on Oakmont Place, which has been a nuisance for years, has been silenced.
Now that there's nothing, it is just absolutely amazing, and the difference is so noticeable, it's crazy.
Sarasota County says this plant went offline on April 10th, about 3 weeks ahead of the May 1st deadline. The original deadline was back in 2013, but a series of extensions pushed it to this year. A new master pump was installed at the site, and now the 100% transition to the new treatment facility is complete. Romano had spearheaded the effort to make these changes at the plant, mainly because of the smell, the noise, and the polluting of the canal right in her backyard.
Oh, it's horrible. You buy a home, you expect to be able to enjoy your backyard, to be able to come out on a Sunday morning, have a cup of coffee, and all of that was taken away from us.
In 2016, around the time of Hurricane Hermine, more than 3 million gallons of partially treated wastewater were dumped into the canal. David Wachtel is another neighbor who lives near the plant. Although he got used to having the plant in the neighborhood, he's happy to see it go.
I think it's just an improvement overall.
Sarasota County says the plant will be demolished in the near future. It hasn't been confirmed as to what will be there after demolition, but there is talk that it could be transformed into a park.
We are excited about it being gone, with it actually just not functioning, not hearing the sounds, not smelling the smells, not having the spills. I think everybody would be fine just to rest and leave it as it is right now for a while, but that's not the way it's going to go, so we accept that.
And we did reach out to Sarasota County, but there was nobody available to come on camera to talk about this. Reporting from Siesta Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Rick, thank you. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast this evening and what we can expect for the weekend ahead. Bob.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Good evening, everyone. Happy weekend. It's here finally. Looking pretty good, too, for us. The large dome of high pressure continues to move on in from the north. Look at all the clear skies all across the southeast. That's what we're in store for over the weekend. Some ominous looking clouds and showers down to our south, but the news is it's going to stay there and move east as that cold front continues to slide in that direction. It's been a bit breezy this evening, especially near the coast, but not too bad right now. 5 to 10, Anna Maria reporting a little stronger wind, but 5 to 10 seems to be the rule up and down the coast from Northport to Venice, down into Inglewood right now. And the wind forecast is going to pick up a little bit tomorrow. I suspect we'll see 15-knot winds at times out of the northwest. That northwest wind also ushering in lower humidity values, and it looks like we'll see seas running 2 to 3 feet. We'll get more to the beach and boating forecast coming up in a little bit, but the weather headlines read like this. A beautiful weekend ahead, bit breezy. A warm up for next week. We'll let you know how warm coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you, Bob. We'll talk to you soon. A warning tonight of a new phone scam making its rounds in Sarasota. Sarasota police say someone is claiming to be with SPD and telling people answering the phone that they have a warrant and will be arrested if they don't send a payment. SPD wants to remind people that they will never ask for money over the phone or request personal financial information. Earlier this month, police also warned of another scam where the caller was asking for donations for the police department. Now, if you've fallen victim to any of these scams, you're encouraged to call the police department and file a complaint. Construction on State Road 64 means an already busy road is quite the headache near the I-75 interchange. We talked to numerous frustrated drivers about that ongoing project. They say it takes more than double the amount of time to get through that area before construction began. The Florida Department of Transportation says it's redesigning the ramp, adding sidewalks and bike lanes, and also widening the roads. Amber Mace says she just moved here from Minnesota and the traffic is a whole new ballgame.
There is a lot more people here. It's way more congested than back in my hometown, so that causes a lot of craziness, and there's a lot of crazy drivers here.
The projected completion date for this project is late next year or early 2020, but the contractors say they are ahead of schedule. After a major defeat for supporters of voting rights for ex-felons, advocates are now pushing for a constitutional amendment that would automatically restore voting rights for people convicted here in Florida. The move to put the decision up to voters in November coming less than 24 hours after an appellate court's decision to block a federal judge's order. That judge calling the state's current laws unconstitutional and issuing a ruling that would have required the state to overhaul its current process.
And all we're saying is once people have paid their debt to society, we ought to create a pathway for them to re-enter society and make a good living for themselves and their family. Have the dignity around the right to vote, but also have the dignity around the right to get a job.
To pass, Amendment 4 needs more than 60% of voter approval. There are an estimated 600,000 convicted felons in the Sunshine State who could have their voting rights restored if that measure is approved. New details tonight following the shooting death of 2 North Florida sheriff's deputies last week at a restaurant. Gilchrist County Sheriff's officials say John Highnote was armed with 2 rifles and a handgun when he, quote, assassinated those men. Investigators are still trying to find people who knew him in Bell, Florida, a town of less than 500 people where he had lived for years. Highnote killed himself after shooting Sergeant Noel Ramirez and Deputy Taylor Lindsay. The sheriff says that before the shooting, Highnote had driven to a previous employer's business but left after being approached by employees there. The FBI also confirming today they had the suspect of the school shooting in Ocala last week on their radar since 2013. 19-year-old Sky Boucher shot a student in the ankle last week, according to law enforcement. But 5 years ago, the FBI contacted authorities here in Florida after Boucher made an inappropriate comment on a YouTube video about the Columbine shooting. No charges were filed against the teen at that time, but he was referred to suicidal and violent risk assessments. Boucher is facing 5 charges for last week's shooting, including terrorism and aggravated assault with a firearm. Stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, second-round picks are in for the NFL Draft. We have the Bucs' top 3 picks. And the suspected Golden State killer in court today. We have details on how they caught him.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
The Spring Fever sales event is going on now at Peterson Toyota of Sarasota. Drive a new 2018 Corolla for only $79 per month, the all-new 2018 Camry for only $119 per month, and 2018 RAV4 for just $129 per month at Peterson Toyota of Sarasota.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma.
It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
A busy weekend ahead here on the Suncoast, starting with the 2018 Venetian Cup Regatta in Venice. The races will kick off tomorrow on Roberts Bay and just outside the Venice Inlet on the Gulf of Mexico. Heigl Marine Park will also be closed during that event and will reopen after 5 o'clock tomorrow. The first race will begin at 10 a.m. in Roberts Bay. Now you can watch the races from shore on Venice Beach or also on the South Jetty. A lot of events also happening around the Suncoast this weekend.
That's right. And for regatta, you need some good wind, and it's going to happen too. You're going to have some pretty good wind, 10 to 15 knots at times, especially in the morning, and then again late in the afternoon. Tower cam showing a beautiful sunset tonight. Time lapse. Get a look at that. Perfect weather for a sunset, and a lot of photos sent in as well. That comes from our tower cam from 10th Street here in downtown Sarasota. And speaking of photos, well, here they are. This one, a nice shot of the waves. That's a nice camera, too. You can tell the detail of that wave with the sun just beyond that last wave that you see there. And this one from Minnesota Beach, Fred Seeger getting that one. Said it was really nice out there because of the lower humidity. And Stephanie, also on Lido, getting a beautiful shot. Well, not the case down to our south in Miami, Key West. They didn't have a sunset tonight due to a lot of clouds and a weak frontal system. On top of that, little disturbance moving up in that direction. For us, though, no rain around. We really didn't see any rain at all with that front as it continues to work off to the south and east. But, boy, they had some big storms here earlier, and those storms now, again, high pressure will build in and get all that out of here, it looks like, by tomorrow midday. For us, we are going to be mild as far as temperatures go. It's going to be quite nice here as a result of the low humidity and temperatures slightly below average. We'll see highs in the upper 70s. But as far as the rest of it goes, we're going to see this high pressure ridge, which is fairly strong right now, giving us that northwesterly wind. This high is eventually going to shift off to the east and set up just to the east of Florida, it looks like, by Monday and Tuesday of next week. And what that means for us is we're going to start to see some very warm temperatures move in beginning Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. We could approach 90 degrees on all those days I just mentioned. Currently, we have fair skies and the temperature now 68 degrees. The dew point is pretty low. The humidity at 76%. The barometer is rising now as expected, rising back up there. And this is the high today, 81 degrees. Our normal high at 83. We'll be slightly below those numbers, I think, again, tomorrow. And then Sunday morning, low 60s to start things off. Well, here's the European forecast showing all that nasty weather that they saw and they are seeing now over the southern portion of the state, slipping off to the east. As I mentioned, looks good for us both on Saturday and Sunday. Lots of sunshine around, I think, on both those days, and maybe some high clouds streaming on by come late Saturday night and Sunday morning. Well, it's been kind of a nasty week, really, for the Northeast with two storms, slow movers that have made their way through there. Although they warmed up, they're happy about that. But notice the clear skies from the Dakotas down into the Central Plain states and the lower Mississippi Valley. That's that large, sprawling, high-pressure ridge which will dominate our weather. Well, here's the futurecast showing that high pressure building in and that front sagging to the south, eventually becoming stationary and fading away as warm weather returns on that east to southeasterly wind once that high gets positioned just off our coast of the coast of Florida there, east coast of Florida. Well, for beach and boating, it looks like this, a bit breezy. Winds will be out of the northwest, turning to the north. We'll start off at 15 knots and then subside 5 to 10 late morning, early afternoon. Seas running 2 to 3 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. Here's the forecast for the 7 days. Now, for Saturday, we are expecting nice weather there. On Saturday, we will see 79 for a high, and it looks like we will see nice weather for the DeSoto Grand Parade, which is a huge event. 200,000 people show up for that. Right at the start, it'll be 80 degrees, mostly sunny. Winds out of the northwest at 10. By the end, it usually takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it'll be 74 degrees and no threat of rainfall. So that's really quite nice. Again, Monday we start to warm up. Sunday looks great, by the way. And then notice on Wednesday, we get into the upper 80s here. It stays that way Thursday and Friday, lots of sunshine. There is a long-range model suggesting that we may see a front move in, not this weekend, but next weekend, but it's a long way off and a lot can happen. But this weekend is pretty nice, wouldn't you say, Jacqueline?
Certainly some hot temperatures as well. Well, thank you, Bob. The man believed to be one of the most elusive serial killers in American history, known as the Golden State Killer, faced a judge for the first time today. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez shows us how the suspect was caught more than 40 years after the killing spree began.
Frail and handcuffed to a wheelchair, the man believed to be the Golden State Killer saying little as he went before a judge for the first time.
2 counts of murder and a special circumstance.
Joseph DeAngelo facing those 2 murder charges and the likelihood of more, accused of a dozen murders, some 50 rapes, and more than 100 burglaries in California in the 1970s and 80s. Some of his alleged victims in tears in the courtroom.
I was 13 years old. I hope they find my buttons in his backyard to my pants.
Investigators now revealing they tracked down their suspect using crime scene DNA, plugging it into a genealogy website called GEDmatch and connecting it to the suspected killer's relatives' DNA in that public database.
There is no question this DNA testing that was done, which is your traditional forensic DNA test, this is the Golden State Killer.
That confidence after collecting DeAngelo's DNA from a piece of garbage and getting a match, arresting the unsuspecting 72-year-old former police officer at his Sacramento home on Tuesday, more than 40 years after investigators say his violent crime spree began.
I absolutely need to see him, and to see him sit in the interview room utterly defeated.
And DeAngelo did not enter a plea. He's scheduled to be back in court May 14th. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Sports is next, but first here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, we're going to give the whole ending to the movie here tonight. Marvel Studios' Avengers Infinity War week continues, and the cast is surprising superfans.
Would you like a sneak peek? I love
Jimmy Kimmel Live, tonight on ABC.
Set your course for a waterfront lifestyle on Florida's last private island. Discover one particular harbor by Margaritaville. Nearby sugar sand beaches are as easy to find as the warm Florida sunshine. Waterfront residences from the high 400s overlook beautiful Anna Maria Sound. And a new marina with direct access to the Gulf of Mexico. Plus, incredible savings on move-in ready homes. Come tour designer models today. Visit ophmintousa.com now.
Did you know you could get life insurance in just a few minutes? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with just a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, TrueStage guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you. TrueStage cares for you the same way you care for your family. In fact, TrueStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-809-8372 now. Any amount of protection can help, and you are guaranteed to be accepted. In just a few minutes, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Getting life insurance can be fast and easy, and it could cost less than you think. Plus, your price will never increase, and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-809-8372 now for a free, no-obligation quote. It's fast and easy. Plus, you get TrueStage's 30-day satisfaction guarantee. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-809-8372 today.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Now, sports.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into tonight's second round of the NFL Draft with 3 picks, the team addressing its defensive line in last night's first round. Tonight, the Bucs looking to add more help on defense and possibly a running back. With the 38th pick, the Buccaneers took Ronald Jones II, a running back from USC. As their 53rd pick, they chose quarterback MJ Stewart from the University of North Carolina. And their 63rd pick was cornerback Carlton Davis. The Bucs won't have any picks in the upcoming third round. Well, one final practice today for the Tampa Bay Lightning before beginning their second round series against Boston tomorrow. The Bolts have had time to rest and work on the little things this week, and they hope that will pay off against the Bruins. Game 1 is set for tomorrow afternoon at Amalie Arena in Tampa, and the Lightning players know it will be a hard-fought series.
There's 2 good defensive teams. I think we've really tried to concentrate on that lately. They've been a good defensive team all year. 2 teams that have been there before, have a lot of guys who have a lot of playoff experience. So, we match up pretty evenly. I think it's going to be a good series. Obviously, we both played pretty well down the stretch, had a good first round. So, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting.
Well, best of luck to the Lightning this weekend. That's a look at sports. We'll have your winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it today at Sunset Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View. You can make some extra money just by cleaning out your kids' closets. I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll tell you about a huge Suncoast consignment event designed for moms to help each other and be socially conscious. This year's nonprofit giving challenge is coming up. We'll tell you how you can get involved. Plus, Manatee Players previews a brand new musical, and Brew Burgers from Venice joins us in the kitchen. Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7, weekdays starting at 5.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
An early start to the sea turtle nesting season here on the Suncoast. Mote Marine Lab's Sea Turtle Patrol has discovered 2 nests, one on the Sarasota County portion of Longboat Key and one on the Manatee County half of the key. The group includes a team of scientists, interns, and 300 volunteers who monitor nesting activity in our area every single day of sea turtle nesting season, which actually runs May 1st to October 31st. And it looks like those sea turtles came a little early.
That's right, and we are looking at the possibility of seeing the International Space Station tomorrow. Skies will clear. They always say the possibility because you got to get up early. Right. May not be possible for some people. This will be tough for me.
Yeah.
6:26 a.m. Duration 4 minutes. It's going to be nice though. It's going to be right above and overhead. It starts to the southwest and disappears to the northeast.
Good to know. Well, thank you so much, Bob. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you right back here on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.